Becoming Awesome with Peter D. Expand your consciousness. Welcome to Becoming Awesome. I'm Peter D. We have a very special show today. Cassandra Fischer will be channeling Archangel Michael and other spiritual beings who choose to speak to us during this podcast. So stick around. Before we get started, please remember we're in the age of YouTube and Facebook, and that means you're going to need to like, subscribe, share, or follow this podcast to help others find out about it, because that's how the computer algorithm works. Please like, share, subscribe, or follow. So let's dive right into it. I'd like to introduce to you Cassandra Fischer. Cassandra has been initiated in 4 different forms of Diksha. That's blessing giving. Very palpable energy transmissions from her. She's been a conscious channel since 2010, and she's clear sentient and clear audient. So she can actually touch someone and know information to be able to help that person. She's been on the oneness path since 2011 and has been a Reiki practitioner since 2006. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Cassandra Fischer. Hello, Cassandra.
Hello, Peter. Thank you for having me. It is a great honor and a blessing to be here with you today.
It's so nice. I'm so grateful. So why don't you go ahead and make the connection, and we'll just dive into our questioning.
Okay. So for all of us, not just Peter and I, anybody who is listening to this podcast, I invite us all to sit in a nice, comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you. There is no right or wrong here. And we're going to start by taking 3 nice, deep tummy breaths with an audible exhale after each one, letting go of everything else and just being here in this now moment. Oh, sweet divine spirit, thank you so much for bringing Peter and I and everybody else together today. Thank you for allowing me to share the gifts of channeling that you have given me. At this time, I ask for 200,000 angels for each of us. Surround the buildings that we are in while we are in the channeled state, acting as wonderful guardians and sentinels, as well as coming inside, keeping us shielded, grounded, protected, wrapped in your wings of love like a giant hug. Thank you. At this time, I ask for and invite in my channeling team, the Elohim, the Hathor, Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Michael wants to be here with us today. Peter's going to get his wish. Thank you. At this time, I ask for and invite in only the highest, best, most loving, easiest, and fun channeling guides who are going to give the most true and accurate answers to Peter's questions today, and who can help with Archangel Michael should he need it. Thank you. As I walk into the waterfall of light, greetings, dear son Peter. Thank you so much for reaching out to me today. I am Archangel Michael. Please do know that I may not be the only being that is here today.
Thank you.
We understand that you have questions for us. Please feel free to ask them at any time.
Thank you. Let me start off with gratitude for you and all of the company of heaven that is with you. I'm honored that you're able to speak to me and speak to everyone listening on this podcast. So let us begin with gratitude.
You are welcome. Thank you for inviting us in today.
As I understand it, everyone has the ability to connect with spirit guides like you. In fact, in the previous episode of this podcast, the channel Cassandra was teaching a simple way to make that connection. Can you please add anything you care to Cassandra's teaching that will help other people who are uncertain about how to reach out and touch spirit? Anything you can give that would help people make better connections to their own guides?
Practice, 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 and get out of your own way. Have trust, something that does not come easy to humans on planet Earth at this moment in time. Trust your guides. Trust the process. Follow her recording. She created a beautiful invocation. You will be safe. There is no reason to not trust.
Thank you. Now, before I dive into more specific questions, do you have anything in general you'd care to say to myself and people listening?
We can tell you that you are loved very, very much. All of your guides, angels, other deities, your personal divine, universal divine.
Thank you.
All swirl in love. And it is directed to you. Open your arms, open your heart, open your mind, and accept this love. Allow it to permeate every cell and fiber of your being. Embrace the love.
Thank you.
Now take this love and apply it to yourself. In all of the great religious books on your planet right now, every single one of them has a passage or 2 or 20, all talking about making sure that you love your fellow human beings. And it is worded differently based on the text of the book. Do not get caught up in the semantics here. Stay with the principle that you are to love your fellow human beings and that you are to also love yourself.
Thank you.
Where do you love yourself?
That's something.
Establish that. Make yourself your best friend. You cannot expect others to love you or even like you if you do not like yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have in your life is with yourself. The most intimate relationship you will ever have in your life is with your personal divine. And again, we ask you not to get caught up in the semantics. When humans hear the word intimacy, oftentimes they go right down that rabbit hole into coitus. That is not what we are referring to here. That is not the only form of intimacy. We are talking about that greater intimacy that your soul yearns for. That is the intimacy and the bond and the strength of that relationship for you to have with your personal divine, which also includes your higher self.
Thank you. Following up on that, this recording is taking place in the middle of the Lions Gate in 2020. And I've been exposed to people and channels telling me that at this time we can ask Spirit to remove guilt and remove shame literally from our memory, both cellular and mental. And I've been having that experience happen to me profoundly over the past several days with the help of guides from Sirius and my own sacred higher self. Can you please speak to the process that one can engage in to relieve their own shame and their own guilt about actions and thoughts they've had?
Most cannot release it until they befriend themselves. So we revert back to what we already said before and make sure that you're working on that. And then the next component is stop and look. Do these feelings, does beating yourself up with this, does it positively serve you? Is it helping you to grow? Is it helping you to open up yourself? We know the answer to these questions already, but you have to take an honest look. Be honest with yourself. Lie to everyone else if you want to, but be honest with yourself. No, we are not saying that we condone such non-auspicious actions and behaviors. But in the grand scheme of how things are structured and organized in the country of the United States, on planet Earth, right now, and yes, it goes into other countries, but we are focusing on where the one you know of as Cassandra and the one you know of as Peter D currently reside on planet Earth.
Thank you.
Let it go. If it no longer positively serves you, why do you want to torture and beat yourself up? Let it go. It's actually a sign of a closed mind and a closed heart to hold on to such emotions. Let them go. The human in you makes mistakes. They are your opportunities to grow and learn and expand. As long as you learn something from it, it is not a mistake. It is a learning experience.
Thank you. I'd like to ask a question that is directly related to me, and maybe this can be an example for others who, when they connect with Source, connect with Spirit, how they can get information that's helpful. Over the past several weeks, I've literally been detoxing from 4 separate infections and poisonous substances. And I know that this is part of my path towards enlightenment. I'm literally becoming lighter by releasing the dense energies and their corresponding illnesses. In addition to what my healthcare provider has recommended, can you give me any recommendations to help me better transform this illness into health?
Make sure that you are strictly adhering to the foods for your particular genotype. That is how you are going to continue to support the physical vessel you inhabit in this incarnation. You started it at one time and then you poo-pooed it. Get back on it. That is what is going to help your body thrive in its optimum. Get on that. Stick with it. Stick with the already prescribed programs for the detoxing that you are doing that came to you through your primary care.
Thank you.
Make sure that you are meditating morning, noon, and night. You need to help support your physical vessel so that it can gently release the rest of this. Now, some of this, it does, as things are leaving you, it's causing chaotic thoughts, a little bit of anxiety. You may even realize that some of that has gone after you've gone and had a bowel movement, and how those emotions and feelings that were brought up because of the toxic substances left your body when your body eliminated. You meditating 3 times a day is going to help keep your mind calm, which then has the effect throughout your entire body of calm, so that you can and will easily and gently release.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Are there any understandings, mental or emotional, that would aid in this release process that you can show me that I've not uncovered already?
You have already uncovered.
Great, thank you.
Fiber, 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 water, water, water. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Thank you. Now, other people listening to this will be obviously going through physical changes. I know as we move into higher densities, we can't take all the old illnesses of 3D with us. Is there anything you can add that would be for the general people listening to this that can help them become healthier?
Take stock with yourself. These well-established patterns and habits, do they continue to positively serve you? As you grow and change, take stock and take inventory. The one you know of as Cassandra, she had a period in time in her life where she was abused. Coping mechanisms that she established during that time for survival purposes no longer positively serve her now that she's no longer in that situation and that environment. She's no longer in that type of danger. This is an example of the patterns, the habits that no longer positively serve, that need to be released for your own growth and your own expansion.
Thank you. Now, as I understand it, we're in the middle of Gaia's transition from 3rd density to 5th density. I guess she's already there and we're just coming along. Now, some people say our ascension is unique in that the whole planet is going to rise up, everybody, and that our universe has never seen a transition planetary all at once before. Whether that's true or not, it's certainly unique. And since we're forging new ground, is there any guidance you can share that would be appreciated? Any timely recommendations that people who are really feeling what's going on with ascension and how it's changing everything, any guidance you can give specifically towards those wanting to ascend into 5D?
Allow, 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 allow. Get out of your own way and allow it to happen. We come across many who say, I am awakened, I am enlightened, I am of this higherness. Sometimes, yes, this is true. Sometimes it is not. That is what they want to happen, and so they're saying that. Be honest and real with yourself and allow those that want to be there for whatever reason, they don't 100% allow themselves. Allow it. Be in the flow. Not everybody's inner ear opens instantaneously the first time they do the exercise from the previous recording. In which case, ask for everything to be written on the golden parchment scroll. Allow.
Thank you.
Get out of your own way.
One of my big stumbling blocks personally for me is being impatient. I've been desiring change for so long. I've been desiring relief from pain. I've been desiring joy for so long. I see things around me change and I like them, but then my mind shifts into, oh, give me more now. Why is it going so slow? Do you have anything you can tell me or anybody who is impatient about the timing that's taking place in ourselves internally and on the planet?
You just gave us an amazing example that goes hand in hand with the answer we just gave you. All of that getting down on yourself, all of that impatience does not positively serve, and it prevents you from 100% allowing. This is not about you and your timing. Sometimes that in and of itself is a big message for the human in you to learn.
Thank you. As I was growing up, I met a lot of skeptics, people who didn't believe it was able to speak with Source, with the angelic realm, with ETs. And to this day, I meet many people who are religiously pigeonholed into how this is sacrilege. Even though if you look in the Bible, everybody who is speaking the word of God is doing exactly what you're doing right now. They're connecting to Source and writing it. Do you have anything you could say for people who are hesitant or fearful about embracing a connection to the greater all that is, to their own divine sacred self, and to all the beings of light like yourself? Anything you can say to ease those who are afraid?
Channeling is like receiving a hug from your angels, your guides, your personal divine. Why don't you want this hug? And only you can answer that for you. Once you answer that for yourself, rip up that paper, blow it away, get out of your own way, trust the love, and allow. But for some people, they do need to spend time in contemplation to get to the root of why they fear this. Were they a child and heard an aberrated adult badmouth the work because that adult was jealous that they didn't have the gifts? So they had to badmouth them? Which is often the case. Get to the root. Contemplate. If you can't get to the root of that on your own, then seek out a channel. Have that be a question. If you truly want to affect change in your life, you must love yourself and release that fear. And it is true, some people do not have the courage. Even those that are of higher consciousness levels. There are sometimes there are core issues that they don't want to look at. There is no judgment here. There is no right or wrong. It is what it is. Seek out a channel. Have that be your question or questions. If you truly desire change, you will find a way to make that change happen. If it is something you truly want, you will see opportunities. If it is not, you will continue to find obstacles. And that is for you to sort through. We will love you through the process the entire way.
Thank you. My understanding is that spirit entities and great beings like yourself don't operate in the same time and space format that somebody in 3D operates in. And
exactly. That is why it is in divine timing, not human timing.
Thank you.
That ties right in with your previous question.
So my question to you is, since you have access to who will be listening to this in the future, is there anything you can say to somebody who's not even turned on to this work yet and suddenly in the future finds this? Anything you can say for a message for those people to help move the rest of us along?
Oh, dear precious soul, thank you so much for being here, whether it was on purpose or on accident. In your mind, to us, it did not happen by chance. We are glad that you finally came. Welcome. Please, please, please stay and spend time with us. Please. Please help us to help you to grow. We want to help you grow and learn, and we want to support you every step of the way. And with it being with what that looks like for you. We care not what that looks like for you. We are just so thankful that you are here. Welcome. Thank you. Please take 1 minute every day to do a deep breathing exercise. Just inhale and exhale. Focus on inhaling and exhaling. Feel that calm. Feel that peace. Enjoy it. Fall in love with it. For we love you. And we are so glad that you are here. Now, the first steps on this path are going to look different for each of you. And that is okay. Take our hand and walk with this together. Allow us to be here with you. Know that you are loved. And know that while in the 3D, you do not see us. We are there, and you are not alone.
Thank you so much. Before I ask Cassandra to come back to finish this interview, is there any closing words you'd like to give?
I think we've covered a lot and given people a lot to think about. We would like to reiterate yourself. Make yourself your best friend. We were not kidding when we said, truly, how can you expect others to like you when you don't like yourself? And when you get to that place of liking yourself, move on to being in love with yourself. Make yourself your best friend.
Thank you so much. I'm very blessed that you're taking your time whatever time is on your side, that you're taking your energy and sharing it with me and everybody on this podcast. I am just going to give you gratitude and do my best to receive the love because it feels so good being here with you now. And thank you. And I'm going to ask that Cassandra Fischer come back. And I appreciate everything that you've shared with us.
So you, Peter D., you feel complete?
Yes, I feel complete.
Then we will say goodbye to the one you know of as Cassandra, and she will be back with you. Hi, Peter. I'm back.
Hey, Cassandra.
The energy. I'm coughing a little bit. It was intense today.
It was really intense. I could feel it here.
Pardon me.
Get a drink of water.
For those listening, please do know that this sometimes happens for the channeler. Pardon, I had to take a drink of water. The energy leaving. Sometimes it looks like coughing. Sometimes it looks like burping. Sometimes it can look like flatulence. Sometimes it might feel tingly throughout your body. There is no right or wrong here. It's going to shift from different people, but just know that it's the energy. And all is well.
Great. So Cassandra, would you mind staying around for a few minutes so I could ask you a couple of questions as Cassandra?
Sure.
Great. Thank you. So let's start with how much are you consciously aware of while you're in your channeled state?
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm beside myself.
Beside yourself.
This is why I tell all of my clients, take notes, record the session, whatever works best for you. Please, not even the next day. It's all leaving. I don't even remember the questions now, and I just came out of state. And this is why I tell my clients, do not rely on my memory. Please do not send me a text or an email the next day. Hey, do you remember when I asked blah, 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 blah? Could you please tell me? The answer is no, I can't. That's also why, and hopefully you all noticed, they made sure that the person I was reading for, and today that was Peter D., that person is complete. That is if you're not complete, that is your time to ask your clarifying questions. If you're complete, then all is well. But yeah, do not rely on me to remember any of it because I don't, ever.
So do you think this is a transitionary thing? Because I know some channels say they're aware. Other channels can just go right in and out. I know I can talk to spirit like I'm just walking down the street, having a conversation with somebody. I can talk to spirit. I've been afraid to actually present that as channeled messages. Is this unique?
Okay, so talking to spirit while you're walking down the street, that's movement prayer.
Okay.
That's not channeling. You're not dropping down into an altered state. You're engaging in conversation.
Got it.
And that's prayer.
Okay. All right. So can I just ask you a personal question? How has your life changed since you've become a conscious channel?
Oh, wow. Where do I begin? Wow. Okay. So being in the flow of gratitude, being in the flow of love, the serendipitous miracles that happen every single day. This morning I was outside doing yard work. I live in the country. We have critters. a bobcat jumped off the roof. We have a mated pair of bobcats that have adopted this property. They help control the snakes and the mice, so and they're chemical free pest control, so I have no interest in chasing them away. But I had my back turned pulling weeds, and a bobcat jumped off the roof and didn't even see me. Looked right at me, but then completely walked away. That in and of itself is a miracle. Yesterday I was craving a bacon tomato sandwich. I have no idea why I was craving it, but I was craving it. We didn't have a tomato. My significant other came home from the store with a tomato and with bacon. We didn't have bacon either. They were not on the grocery list, but when he was in the produce department, he said that tomato talked to him. When he was over in the deli section, he said, you know, I felt very, very compelled to buy a package of bacon. And all
Life
the while,
in the golden age.
Exactly. All the while, I'm at home thinking, dang, a bacon and tomato sandwich sounds really good. That serendipity and that miracle is, and yeah, my belly got fat and happy after eating that sandwich, and I enjoyed every single crumb and morsel of it, and it was fantastic. And that is just an example of what it's like living in the state.
Thank you. So I kind of asked this question to Archangel Michael, and it'll be kind of the last question I ask you. So for somebody new to this, who says, yes, I want to live a life of synchronicity and magic. I want to talk to my sacred higher self and divine angels and spirit. Any advice you've got for somebody just starting down that path?
Meditate for 1 minute a day, every single day.
Okay.
That helps start the process. You can read all the self-help books you want. But as long as you continue to have those ruminating thoughts, it does not positively serve you. Meditating, and all it has to do is to just be for 1 minute every morning. You have to start somewhere. You cannot eat the elephant whole, but you can if you do it one bite at a time. And no, I am not picking unnecessarily on elephants. If somebody has another well-known analogy out there, please send it my way and I'll gladly use it.
Eat the donkey.
Yeah. Again, you can only do it one bite at a time.
Right. So
you have to start somewhere.
Great.
Now, if it is, you know, Peter was very specific in asking me for someone who starts on this path. And I'm taking that as spirituality and the path of the open heart. Now, if someone wants something more, you know, specific for how do they become a conscious channel, or how do they get involved with Diksha and things like that, please send me an email.
Great. Tell us your email, please.
My email address is transformingconsciousness@outlook.com.
Great. Transforming Consciousness at outlook.com. For those of you listening or watching, it'll be in the notes below.
Yes, and I will gladly get into more specifics and helping you with what is yours.
I can just want to testify for a moment. You've come to me so many different times and just told me things that nobody else should know. And it's really funny the way you tell me these things. Like, Peter, I had this vision and you were doing these kinds of things and doesn't make any sense to me. And yet totally it's like, oh yeah, I see that one. I've been thinking about that already. You've been so helpful and I'm so grateful for that. So anybody, whether you want to just use a channel to get to connect to source until you learn how to do yourself, or you want to learn actually how to become a channel and connect to source, please contact Cassandra Fischer at transformingconsciousness@outlook.com. And before we close, I just want to say we're in the age of YouTube and Facebook. You've heard me say this. Like, follow, subscribe, share. That's the only way the computer lets other people know. You'll be helping spread the message. You'll be helping my ego because I'm not doing this for money. Thank you guys so much. Cassandra, any closing words you want to give?
I am just so grateful to be here, and genuine, heartfelt love to each and every one of you, not just to Peter D., my friend, but to each and every one of you listening to this. Know that from the bottom of my heart, I feel love for you, and I want your highest and best for you, not just now, but always. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the love. Hope you're feeling it out there. You are loved. Biggest takeaway, you are loved. Many blessings. See you next time.
Bye-bye.